Hello everybody, my name is Agile Guy and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. Don't worry, I haven't just turned over 2 pages at once, I just want to get through the loading screen before I came back with you. I was in my quarters, now I'm out here, get over it. Anyway, let's read some of these notes that are in the hall and clear my throat. That was me just clearing my throats. Did you enjoy that noise? I hope not, because I freaking muted it. Construction report, request to fight. Okay. Workers finishing the banner placements are requesting more important tasks. Several wish to train with swords so they can fight. More directly serving the Inquisition. They travel to join a war, not dress up a keep. Can't say I disagree. Our enemy cut a hole in the sky, seen everywhere. We look upon it from below, but it need not humble us. We fight because we are many because the Inquisitor inspires. The Inquisitor inspires because of his growing legend. Part of this legend is what the masses find on arrival. That is the job of your workers. Not vanity, but veneration. Not impulse, but elevation. Their skill as workers is greater threat to the enemy than their number in half-trained soldiers, from Lady Montelier. Very true and very wise words indeed. Every bit's important, you can't just ignore one thing. Focus on one thing, I should say. One of our finishers, Garen, fell from the scaffold and landed on a paving stone. Ow, he had breath for an hour, but his eyes were still, he died. And the Chantry sisters wrapped him. What should we do? Have them commit his body with those we have lost in Haven. I will record his sacrifice for the Inquisition. Yeah. Move his fellow workers to another site, and allow time off with pay if they request. Ensure that all workers do their jobs safely. We are in a war, not a race. Rushing does no good if we harm ourselves. We are all the Inquisition. Also, very, very true. Is there anybody I need to speak to over here? I'm gonna have a chat with Varric in just a moment, but I don't think there's anything in the Undercroft which I need, though I think I might go have a word with Solus. I haven't checked out his mural just yet. Hey, dude.
Need something?
No, I guess not.
Can I ask you something? You want to talk about me?
No, I'm good.
Thanks, Fer. No problem.
Was that door there always open? In that case, what's over here? Is this open? Yeah, it is. Where's this go? To a wall, to a stair. Where does the stair go? Goes to... at the library, to Helisma. To Vivienne's place. This is where you hang out, hello. Surfacing, paint, plaster, tile, plaster, stone. Previous occupants must have redressed over and over. Most are solid. Some I would strip down to the stone. The strength of this place is the foundation. Are we here for the long term, or is the Inquisition temporary? Do it right. The Inquisition is only temporary if we fail, and we're not failing the Inquisitor. Sir Morris, Quartermaster. That's true. We're constructing a great thing there. Lady, Sister, Mother Giselle mentioned that we should deconstruct it when it served its purpose, but I don't know. Maybe we can turn it to good permanently afterwards, you know? Hey, Vivienne.
You've made such intriguing design choices for the castle, my dear. They must be inspired.
You inspired it, Josephine picks everything. You're too kind.
Thank you, Vivienne. I'm glad you approve.
When things have settled down a bit, I will take you to Val Royo and introduce you to my seamstress. And appearances are important. We can't have you mistaken for a commoner.
I should be one of them, I don't mind. I can be materialistic. Nah. Appearances are important, that's true. But there's a difference in putting up good appearances and not being a commoner. So I don't mind, or I suppose you're right. And I know which one she'll lose approval with. I should be one of them. No, actually I don't know which one. I suppose you're right. Elevated above the crowd. What do I want? Do I want to affiliate myself more with nobles and be that guy? Or do I want to be of the people and be commoners? I guess I don't really care.
I've never been much concerned with maintaining the distinction of rank.
It's not about rank, darling. It's about power. You command an army of the faithful, outfitted by the coin of the nobility. You must be a man who the common folk aspire to be and to whom the nobility bow.
Let them judge me by my deeds. It's a lot to live up to, still is enough. It is a lot to live up to.
That's quite a lot for one person to pull off, don't you think?
It is a challenge all great leaders must face, Inquisitor. As the stories of the Inquisition spread, more and more people will wonder if you are the man they say you are. They will question what they've heard, but they will believe what they see. They must see someone greater than legends.
Feels dishonest. Interesting.
If that's your standard for me, what does the Divine have to live up to?
Andraste and the Maker cast very large shadows. The Divine absolutely must set the example for all Thedas. She must seem to be the embodiment of the Maker to the faithful. She needs the authority of the Maker and the charisma of Andraste. It will be no small task to fill that vacant throne.
It's true. Thanks, Vivienne. That was interesting, as always. Moving on. Let's see. Let's take the stairs, shall we? I can't be prancing around the place. It's important to keep up appearances, as they say. Here's the library. So... Actually, fuck what I just said. Hey, Solus.
Greetings.
Oh, god damn it. Why do you have nothing?
We'll talk later. Goodbye.
Is that a glitch as well? Another fucking glitch for... I don't even know why I'm getting so mad about it. It just feels like something should be happening there, but it's not. Well, we'll come out this way before. I don't know. Let's try not to get mad about it. What have we got so far? We've got this here, which is something. This, which is something. And then that. I don't know what any of this means. I think that's Corypheus with his orb. But hard to say. Jeez. Okie dokie. Up the stairs we go. Actually, no, we want to go up the stairs. Let's go speak to Dorian and see how he's getting on. Because we all love a bit of Dorian. Hi.
It occurs to me that you're a mage.
Yeah.
That just occurred to you.
I meant, you must have been part of the Circle of Magi in the south. Meaning, you were locked away like a criminal, at least until you rebelled. It's such a bizarre notion to me.
There are worse things.
There are worse things than being kept in the circles.
Death, starvation, being hunted by rabid mobs? Yes, I can imagine. Some would say Tevinter is hardly better, depending on which mage you ask. Still, it's so utterly foreign. It's more surprising that everyone would take the idea of a mage inquisitor so... calmly. Maybe it's not calm. Maybe the Antevan crows are swimming in gold from all the contracts on your life. Good luck with that, by the way. Grand fun being the one in charge.
What a wonderful thought. I never even thought about assassins. Thank you. Why were you in Redcliffe, you big dick?
I'm curious why you were in Redcliffe in the first place.
Looking up an old mentor of mine. A magister by the name of Alexius. Good fellow. Always thought highly of him. Then one day, he asks me to join the Venatori. And I know what he was thinking. He knew I wanted to change Tevinter, not regress it into prehistoric madness. The Venatori killed Alexius once he stopped being useful.
Really? Why did he join them then?
Seems odd he would get involved with the Venatori at all.
That's what I thought. I'd hoped to persuade him to leave Redcliffe. I suppose he had his reasons. People will do odd things when they're strung over a barrel. Either that, or I didn't really know Alexius at all.
I'll take your word for it on that. It's hard to say. Like, changing to Tevinter, the Venatori would change it, but they would change it back. Seemingly. And Corypheus himself is different than the old gods. Although he's maybe once an avatar for them. Not an avatar, but a representation for them, but an avatar of the old ways. A kind of dragon in and of himself. Tell me about the Imperium.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true. The cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
More about the cows, please. Indeed.
Corypheus is a figure out of Tevinter history. He was a magister.
Yes, but that was a different time. The Imperium's power was at its peak then. The Civil War had ended, the Magisterium was united, its armies scooping up bits of Thedas like candy. The Magisters who entered the Black City, it was a demonstration of how exceptional Tevinter had become.
But who were they?
No one knows. There's no record of a Magister named Corypheus.
Really?
All this happened 1400 years ago, before the Blight nearly wiped us out. There are no records. Today, people half believe it's all just a story. That's what I believed.
Interesting.
We have evidence the story is very much real.
But not who Corypheus is. If he even remembers. There used to be families who claimed some of those Magisters as their own. That stopped when the Chantry appeared. Then it was shameful, and the families distanced themselves from the tale. All we know is that some men and women entered the Black City looking for the old gods. What did they find? According to Corypheus, nothing. And only he could tell us more.
Indeed. There's a lot to go through, so let's do it.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That Magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
Of course. Huh. Tell me about that.
What is the Magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
Well, we covered that. I know I'm racist.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
An Altus.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
Yeah. Mages do rule, though.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
I'm starting to get the picture here.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen.
Really?
More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
What?
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
I see. Yeah, good point. That was very interesting, but I think there's even more to ask about.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
Wow, there's gonna be so much here. This is probably gonna take up the rest of the episode.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine?
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
The Black Divine. Is that a term just used by, like, our Chantry and Draste's Chantry, or is it a term used by everybody? Because I think Tevinter's like black, right? Isn't that a thing? Black Divine?
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no.
Ah.
In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Man, Tevinter lie to themselves to make themselves look good so much. They're really tripping over themselves to do it, aren't they? That's sort of what you were saying before. Huh.
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
Of course.
So the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female majesties who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
The derision is clear, and even me, who can, like, I can stand politics and I see it, it just seems arbitrary and silly to me as well, so I do agree.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them.
Right.
For the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
So many things are.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
How is this place not falling apart yet?
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry.
Right.
It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
Yes, because there's a difference between believing and following a specific doctrine. I think the Chantry has its place, though.
I disagree. I don't think the Chantry is irrelevant.
Not to most, no. Perhaps just to me. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
I mean, I believe, but I'm really... Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure about that myself.
Doubt is good. I like doubt. It will keep you sane. Me? I've seen too much to believe I know everything. The world is bigger than I. Even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe. But I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Interesting.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
So much to ask about this this Tevinter stuff. You know what? I'm gonna take a breather from it, actually. Thank you.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Because if I don't, then it's all just gonna get
I should go.
You know where I'll be.
mixed in my brain, and I'm not gonna retain any of it. So I was genuinely just gonna chat with him for the rest of the episode, and in fairness, I have. But oh, here we go. From Mortalitasi, the living and the dead. This word speaker via an axis make one passage stands out. That's the guy downstairs. We are of this world, and as with any piece that seeks to leave its element, there is a void when we abandon the mortal. It must be that this would hold our returning to the Maker. It must be that we should seek balance. It must be that the Maker's first children aid the second. An account. Breath ceased on the hour exactly. We felt his absence in that moment and were ready. It was gentle, and all were calmed by the signs of spirit entering, knowing there would be no chains on their loved one. Unfettered, he would find the side of the Maker, but that was not the training for the battlefield. I had heard the accounts and knew my role, and I was ready. Then our warriors signaled the charge, and I was not ready. Breath was not stilled by the hour and was not gentle, and I was sore afraid. Then the enemy countered, and I saw blades come for the good men whom I had stood beside, and I would not allow it. The dead who had fallen I bid their forms to serve, and it was the turn of our foes to know fear. But I had peace, for I had granted the fallen greater purpose, and in doing, had honoured life by protecting it. I could definitely be turned to that way of thinking, but I'd probably need to choose to ignore some bits I'm less than comfortable with. The idea of aiding spirits into dead bodies actually is quite appealing to me. It's kind of because spirits want more than anything else to experience the mortal coil. Or, well, actually, I think that spirits in the common parlance, as opposed to demons, actually don't tend to care too much. I don't know, maybe there'll be more about that when we actually follow that through, because I do intend to kind of do the research for each one before I make a final decision. Do I have an ability to specialize just yet? Good, no. No. Although I would like to know some of the abilities, and I don't know if this will get to me in time, but feel free to weigh in. On like the specialisms that you prefer and why you like them, because it may well I'm trying to like shorten the time between when I record an episode and when I release it so I can act on your guys' advice a bit faster. So it may well reach me in time. Just let me know. Plus I'm interested to hear what you guys think regardless. Anyway, in the next episode, more Skyhold stuff, guys. Hope that's cool with you, cause I'm liking it. Alright, ciao for now, folks.